What's it do? What's it do?
Sex drive, which is the predominant, but by no means the only.
We'll see what it do. We'll see what it do. I'm going fast in a second now.
Testosterone is not the only molecule that generates lust. There is, in addition, a complex interaction of chemicals, including peptides, various neurotransmitters, and other hormones that play a leading and/or supporting role. I have introduced you to the aggressive sex drive, most characteristic of the male, but more common to the female than anyone, until now, has been willing to acknowledge. Next, we are going to explore the mysteries of estrogen and the receptive sex drive, which is the predominant, but by no means the only, sexual pattern for the woman. Within her, testosterone and estrogen weave as yin and yang, opposite but complementary. Your receptive sex drive. Estrogen is the morning and moon in all of us. It is the hormone in the diaphanous dress, the chemical with the cleavage, the molecule with the glowing skin and ruby red lips. It gives women their curves, their softness, their rounded breasts, and moist, inviting vaginas.
Woo!
When estrogen is in power, the females of every species signal, "Take me, I'm yours." Estrogen makes a woman attractive to a man. They say it makes her glow. We see this in the animal world. In primates and lower mammals, females with reduced or absent estrogen fail to attract males, lacking the sexual sense that are dependent upon estrogen. By contrast, when female primates were given daily injections of estrogen, male apes thought they were beautiful. They pursued them enthusiastically with sex obviously in mind. Estrogen plays a covert role in sex drive. This female hormone scripts a woman into being willing and available, but does not necessarily inspire her to initiate the act. That's Rainbow's job. He's overdosed with testosterone. Estrogen fluctuates, peaks and cycles throughout a woman's life, beginning with conception and lingering throughout old age. It is produced in response to the X chromosome, and women have 2 of them, which is why we are saturated with estrogen. Many have relatively little estrogen. It is converted from DHEA and testosterone in the prostate and produced in small amounts by fat cells. Unfortunately, estrogen does not appear to stir the libido in men the way it does in women. It pushes the wrong button and can cause impotence instead. Women's ovaries are basically estrogen factories. Should the ovaries be removed or damaged from chemotherapy or as a consequence of menopause, our fat cells still make some, and our brain probably does as well. A woman's lust is ambivalent and multifaceted. There are 4 main flavors: active or aggressive, receptive or passive, perceptive or seductive, and aversive or reverse. Testosterone, as you've learned, is responsible for the active pursuit of sex and the drive toward orgasm. Women with high testosterone levels masturbate more frequently, even when a partner is readily available. In this respect, her sex drive is much like a man's. Estrogen governs receptive sex. It creates the desire to be penetrated and causes longings for having a baby. Heterosexual desire and activity is stimulated by estrogen. Normal levels of estrogen generally produce a sense of well-being, the need to be intimate, and to be held. But there is more. Estrogen also puts out the welcome mat, quietly, unobtrusively, and gently. And her brain probably does as well. A woman's lust is ambivalent and multifaceted. There are 4 main flavors: active or aggressive, receptive or passive, perceptive or seductive, and aversive or reverse. Testosterone, as you've learned, is responsible for the active pursuit of sex and the drive toward orgasm. Women with high testosterone levels masturbate more frequently, even when a partner is readily available. In this respect, her sex drive is much like a man's. Estrogen governs receptive sex. It creates the desire to be penetrated and causes longings for having a baby. Heterosexual desire and activity is stimulated by estrogen. Normal levels of estrogen generally produce a sense of well-being, the need to be intimate, and to be held. But there is more. Estrogen also puts out the welcome mat, quietly, unobtrusively, and gently. Being awash with estrogen, a woman welcomes and enjoys sex. Estrogen also rules a woman's perceptive or seductive sex drive. With the help of oxytocin, progesterone, and a little HRH. With estrogen and oxytocin working together, the cat is loose and on the prowl. This seductive, persistent, but gentle, in-your-face sexuality is manifest by the sex kitten in women. There is nothing passive about this behavior. She chooses rather than waits to be chosen, but she persists rather than insists. Women, much more so than men, have a fourth gear, reverse. It may be hard to accept this other side of women, but sometimes our hormones just won't accommodate. Let's learn more about this resistant sex drive. When her hormones put on the brakes, a woman goes into reverse. While estrogen motivates a woman toward sex, progesterone and to a lesser extent prolactin have the opposite effect, tripping a woman into her fourth gear. Progesterone just says no to sex. Like many of its relatives, however, progesterone sends its share of mixed messages. By contrast to GHGA, which sensitizes special sexual spots, progesterone numbs them. If a woman has sex...
Well, overdid that one, but we all good.